Hello everyone, True here, back with another video. Hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day. I know it's been over a month since I've last uploaded. It's been quite a while. School has been beyond busy, and fortunately for me, a new semester has started, so I'm gonna get back to some content making, hopefully keep it up, balance out the workload and PTCGO. And before we hop into today's video, please remember to hit that subscribe button. Make sure to get notified whenever new videos come out. I try to put a lot of effort into these videos, edit them so they look professional, and please hit the subscribe button. It's the best way to support the channel, and while you're at it, drop a like as well. It really helps this video to get shared with others. And with all of that being said, let's hop into today's video. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Decidueye. I'm pretty sure everyone who's watching this video has heard, seen, or ran into Decidueye. It's known for its ability Deep Forest Camo, which prevents it from being hit by VMAXs, Vs, and GXs, and it has the attack Splitting Arrow, which hits for 90 and spreads 20 damage to two of our opponent's bench Pokemon, which is not bad overall. Unfortunately, Decidueye is a stage 2 Pokemon, and that makes it slightly more inconsistent. The most popular build of Decidueye that has been running around, pretty sure everyone knows, is the infamous Decidueye Obstagoon deck. The idea behind that deck is to have full immunity to whatever deck it runs into, because Obstagoon can make itself immune to basics, immune to damage from basics I should say, and Decidueye is immune from Vs and GXs, and essentially the idea behind that deck is to basically have nothing that can counter it and get set up to that point where you're essentially hitting your opponent and your opponent can't hit you back for any damage. Now, unfortunately, that deck is even more inconsistent because it plays two lines of stage 2, and in today's video, we're featuring a Decidueye deck that has counters for Decidueye, but we're not playing Obstagoon, we're playing the Hoopa and Basculin package. Now, what's really special about this package is that it plays Hoopa and Basculin are both basics, and B, they both serve as really effective counters to the most popular counters for Decidueye played in things like Eternatus and Centiskorch. And what I mean is that Basculin has the attack Tackle. For one colorless energy, it can hit for 20 damage, and this fully counters Volcanion. Now you may say 20 damage times 2, that's 40 damage. How does that counter Volcanion at all? Well, we play the Martial Arts Dojo and Fighting Energy package. Assuming we are behind on prizes, we can attach a Fighting Energy to Basculin, which, in case you're concerned about getting out, we play Rosa, so we can easily search out Martial Arts Dojo and Fighting Energy and easily charge up Basculin and use Tackle, which 20 plus 40 is 60, and 60 times 2 is 120, which is a perfect one-hit KO on Volcanion. Now, of course, if our opponent is playing things like Heat Energy, which buffs Volcanion's HP by 20, we might run into a little bit of trouble, but that's why we play things like the one of Zigzagoon, just so we can make the math work out even better in our favor. Even without Obstagoon, Zigzagoon is still a very, very powerful card in Decidueye because we do play a lot of spread damage, and sometimes the math just works out. And we play the one of Hoopa for that Eternatus matchup. Eternatus plays things like Yveltal and things like Hoopa that may be able to counter our Decidueye, and because Decidueye we have to attach twice, sometimes we might find ourselves a turn behind, especially if our opponent is playing things like Crushing Hammer, which can cause us to lose the game. We do play Hoopa with that Evil Admonition, which is really nice because, as you guys know, Eternatus plays things like Zigzagoon, plays things like Spiritomb, plays things like Crobat V, and even Eternatus VMAX, they all have abilities. And most of the time, our opponent who's playing Eternatus usually has a lot of Pokemon with abilities in play, and Evil Admonition numbers add up very nicely. And with Evil Admonition, we can easily one-hit KO one of our opponent's one prizers just for one energy, which can definitely bring us back into this game if our opponent plays things like Crushing Hammer. And other than those two techs, this deck is pretty streamlined. We play this one Snorlax 3 Jirachi package, we play the one Phione, one Mew, one Mewtwo. That's pretty straightforward and ordinary. Before Scoop Up Net, those are all pretty straightforward and standard for the Decidueye list. 4 Bird Keepers, pretty normal, 1 Boss's Orders, and something that's really unusual is that we are playing for research. I did take this deck list from someone who was playing it at a Chill's TCG tournament. I forgot specifically which one, but they were not playing any Marnie. I do feel like we could split the research into 2 research and add 2 Marnie. I feel like that would make this deck probably a bit better, but for now we're sticking with 4 research, going with maximum draw power. We do play 2 martial arts dojo, and as for the energy counts, we play 2 aromatic grass energy. This is really nice in case our opponent plays something like Poisonous Etern or Eternatus with Galarian Wheezing. Aromatic energy does grant us immunity from those pesky special conditions that can get in our way of winning the game, and aromatic energy is just very nice for that reason. We play 2 capture energies to be able to search out our basics in the early and late game. We play 3 fighting energies. This might seem like a heavy count, but we do need that high count to be able to utilize it with martial arts dojo. And what is really nice is that we can utilize martial arts dojo with Decidueye as well, so we can hit 130 damage, or worst case scenario 100 damage with splitting arrow, which, hey, it's definitely better than 90 damage. And we play 2 grass energies. Yeah, other than the martial arts package and Hoopa and Basculin, this is a pretty straightforward, more consistent Decidueye list. And with all of that being said, let's get into some games. Alright, so hopping into our first game against Dolcan. Good luck to him or her. Our opponent's going to be calling the coin flip. We do lose the coin flip, unfortunately. Normally, I do think we like to go first, but going second, we don't necessarily mind either in case our first hand is completely and utterly bricked. And with this hand, I think I like starting Rowlet, considering the fact that we do have a Pokemon Communication to work with, so we can Pokemon Communication back into Zigzagoon, look for something like a Snorlax or Jirachi based on what we top deck, and go from there. And we also have the Scoop Up Net in hand, which can allow us to get this Rowlet back into our hand and promote whatever we grab. It looks like we are up against some sort of Lapras VMAX deck. This should be a pretty good matchup in theory, but our opponent could definitely play some basic one price Pokemon, so we do have to be wary of that. I'm going to start off with the Pokemon Communication, and considering that we top deck a Bird Keeper, we will be seeing 3 new cards, so I think I'm just going to opt to grab the Jirachi. I think that's a stronger option here. So we're going to grab a Jirachi here, bench the Jirachi, and we don't need to play the Scoop Up Net anymore. I might as well keep that around for next turn in case this Jirachi lives. So yep, just going to Bird Keeper into this Jirachi here, see 3 new cards, and we're just seeing really nice draws. Alright, so our opponent did not get a Snom down onto the bench, so I think we're safe next turn. I don't think this Jirachi is going to die, because Lapras VMAX, if I recall correctly, needs 3 energies to attack, and they only have 1, and unless they play something like a Turbo Patch, there's no way for them to get 3 energies, to get 2 energies onto this next turn, so feeling pretty good about that. We're gonna go with the Stellar Wish here, see what we can grab. Okay, this is definitely a pretty tough decision. We have a lot of good options. We don't need Rare Candy since we already have one in hand. We could grab a Quick Ball. I think I'm going to opt to grab a Draw Supporter to work with for the following turn. I think that's pretty optimal. I think I'm going to go with the Bird Keeper. To be quite honest, I think that's better because this hand has some pretty good stuff in Ordinary Rod and a Boss. I'm not too big of a fan of getting rid of those, so I feel pretty safe keeping this hand around. I'm gonna bench the second Jirachi because why not, I guess, and just attach fighting to the Rowlet, and I think we're safe to pass over to our opponent. We don't need anything else for this turn, to be quite frank. I think I've got about everything that I could ask for. There's the Manaphy from our opponent. Alright, that's a pretty interesting card. This does allow them to find, look at the top 6 cards, find a Pokemon. I don't know how good that is in this deck, to be quite honest, but I guess if our opponent's trying it out, we do have to keep in mind this can hit us for 30 damage. That's not a lot of damage, but we do need to keep that in mind. There's the Marnie from our opponent, unfortunately, going to get rid of her perfect hand, but hopefully we have 4 research in deck. Hopefully we can find one of those. Hopefully don't break too hard off of this. And this hand's not bad. We have access to Rare Candy, a Pokemon Communication, so if we can see a top deck, a Pokemon, or a Quick Ball, we may just be able to find a Decidueye to get set up this turn. And there's the Snom from our opponent. So it looks like they're getting pretty set up here as well. Our opponent has the Big Charm on the Lapras VMAX. That's sort of irrelevant. I would say it would be more scary if they attach the Big Charm to the Snom, because that would mean Snom can probably live a Decidueye attack. I'm not too much. I forget how much health Frostmoth has, but I do feel like Big Charm on Snom probably would have been a little better in this matchup. Let's see what our opponent what else they have going for them. They have a wash energy on this. That's not really relevant. There's the other Lapras V, and our opponent's gonna pass over to us. There's a Capture Energy top deck. That's not gonna play too much of a difference, but I do. When our opponent Marnied us, they did put a Bird Keeper on the bottom of the deck, so I think I want to capture first, shuffle the deck, and hopefully see a Bird Keeper off of this Stellar Wish. I think that's okay, so I'm gonna go with the Capture Energy here. Probably just grab out another Rowlet. I think that's okay. Check our prize cards as well. We prized a Grass Energy, which is a little unfortunate. We prized one Bird Keeper as well. I think we also prized the Scoop Up Net, a Quick Ball, one Calm as well. We priced a lot of cards that I would rather have around, but fortunately nothing too severe. Gonna go with the Stellar Wish now, see what we hit. Oof, nothing too good. Probably just, nothing's really useful here. I'm just gonna take the Pokemon Communication and pass on over to our opponent. Nothing too great with this hand, unfortunately. We did not find a draw supporter off of that Stellar Wish, but fortunately we should be okay. Yeah, the Frostmoth has 90 HP, so the Big Charm on this Frostmoth definitely would have been stronger. If they held the Big Charm, they could have attached this here and potentially killed our Decidueyes a bit faster, but I'm still feeling pretty confident. Even if they did that, our opponent's going to use the Ocean Search ability. And our opponent does grab a, I forget they did grab a Phione, so we do have to be wary of that. That can be a little bit annoying if our opponent constantly forces us to switch out of the active. It could be a little bit of a nuisance. I'm gonna go ahead and evolve into the Decidueye, which we fortunately top decked. Go with the Stellar Wish. There is a Bird Keeper, so I feel pretty safe going in with the Bird Keeper onto this Decidueye. Hopefully draw into a Grass Energy. Let's see what we hit. No Grass Energy, unfortunately, but another Capture Energy is not bad at all. I do like the idea of setting up another Decidueye, which does play around Phione in theory. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that here. Grab out, what do we even need here? I don't know if we need anything. Another Rowlet doesn't seem terrible. Yeah, yeah, I'm just gonna grab out another Rowlet. That seems fine with me. Quick Ball away this Pokemon Communication. Don't want to reveal the Basculin quite yet. I'm gonna grab the Phione here. Pokemon Communication in the Phione. Go for another Decidueye. Now we're looking pretty good. We have 2 Decidueyes on the board, and our opponent can't really hit our Decidueye. If our opponent, this thing does need 2 energies to attack with Wave Slash, so, and they haven't attached an energy from their hand for the past few turns, so I'm feeling pretty confident that they don't have any energies in the hand so far. Yeah, let's see what our opponents got going on. They do attach to the Lapras VMAX. There's the Ocean Search again. I'm not sure how I feel about this attachment. This isn't doing any damage, so I'm a little bit confused as to why they would attach here instead of to like Manaphy or Frostmoth, which might have found us a draw supporter. There's the boss from our opponent. They're going to be taking out a Rowlet. That's actually perfectly fine with us, as we have 2 Decidueye set up. I'm feeling pretty safe here. There's a Fighting Energy topic. That is the wrong type of energy. Hey, but there is a Juniper, so we can Scoop Up Net the active Jirachi. Promote this Decidueye. Throw it on the Martial Arts Dojo. Play the Ordinary Rod because there's not a reason not to, as we are about to get rid of it. So might as well play it and go for the Juniper. Let's see if we can draw into a Grass Energy. Yep, there is an Aromatic Energy. That works. That counts as an energy, and now we can just go with Splitting Arrow and yep, start spreading some damage. And I am feeling pretty good so far, and we're going to be able to hit both of these for 20 damage here. And yeah, that feels pretty good. Next turn we can actually boss this up and KO it, which I think I like doing, because Frostmoth is not only a threat because it can attack, but because it can charge up other attackers as well. If they play something like the Baby Lapras, that I do know about, it does 10 damage plus 30 damage for each water energy attached to it, so we probably do want to play around that. There's the switch from our opponent into the Manaphy. Looks like they're digging for something. There's another Lapras V. No sign of anything too severe from our opponent so far. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna boss up the Frostmoth. That seems pretty good with me. And yeah, just use Splitting Arrow, hit the Lapras again for 20 probably, and now that I think about it, taking out this Lapras VMAX and taking out a Crobat Crobat V does win us the game, so I think I'm just gonna hit the Crobat for 20. Yeah, I think that's okay. So I think this is the optimal play to make. We're gonna take a prize card here. It is a Bird Keeper. That is a pretty good card to see. So let's see if our opponent has a response here. Again, I do feel like we're super ahead in this game so far. I'm feeling pretty confident. I feel confident. There's the Phione from our opponent. That's okay because we can just promote this Decidueye, and then we have a Bird Keeper to move back into this Decidueye, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. There is another Snom from our opponent that they grabbed, and they're just gonna get rid of it. I definitely disagree with that play. I feel like they should have Phioned and then benched the Snom. I'm not sure what our opponent's doing, but that sort of tells me that they likely don't play another one prize attacker if they got rid of Frostmoth. They're acting like they don't need this Frostmoth anymore. And they also got rid of a Nestle, which is super good for us, meaning they might have a harder time recovering any one prize attackers they might play. So our opponent uses the Phione here. We're going to promote the Decidueye because this can't get KO'd by anything, and our opponent's going to actually promote the Eldegoss here and just hit us for no damage. Alright, that's perfectly fine with me. Let's see what our opponent promotes here. They promote the Manaphy, so we're going to be able to KO the Manaphy here. Actually, what we can do is, okay, I was going to Bird Keeper into the Jirachi and then Scoop Up Net the Jirachi, but it looks like our opponent knows it's over. They don't have anything going for them. No responses to Decidueye, and hey, we got pretty set up that game, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Alright, so hopping into our next game here against Ultra Joyd. Good luck to him or her. We're going to call the coin flip. Let's go with Tails. See how that works out. We do unfortunately lose the coin flip. So let's see if our opponent forces us to go first or second. They're going to make us go first here. So this tells us we're probably up against Pikarom or Centiskorch or Eternatus. ADPZ usually likes to go first. Probably just going to start the Rowlet here. No reason not to, I guess. Yep, just going to start the Rowlet. In case our opponent stamps us, I would rather have this Rowlet in the active instead of a Zigzagoon. And yeah, let's see what we're up against. And it looks like we are up against some sort of a lightning deck, probably Pikachu VMAX, or potentially something else, probably a little bit more rogue, I would say. So definitely gonna have to be a little careful because I don't know what we're up against. I'm gonna start off with the quick ball. I think we can safely get rid of this Zigzagoon. I don't know how much, I don't know how relevant that's gonna be in this matchup. That might come back to bite me, but I feel like that's the best option for now. So I'm gonna Scoop Up Net this Rowlet here. Since our opponent is playing a lightning deck, I'm not sure I don't know what stadium they would play. Normally, if our opponent was playing something like a fire deck, we would have to keep this Dojo around for something like a Giant Hearth, or even a Wondrous Labyrinth. But since we're up against this, I feel pretty safe throwing it out and just seeing an extra card with Gourmandize. So I'm just gonna do this and then Gourmandize for 6 new cards. And hey, that sounds pretty darn good to me. And like I said, we do see the Decidueye, but we don't see a Rare Candy. We're just missing that one piece that we need. There's a Crushing Hammer. It does hit Tails, which is very fortunate. Another Crushing Hammer hits Tails. That's great. And there's the attachment to the active. Are they just going to pass here? No, they bench a Crobat V. Okay, I was going to say, if our opponent's bricking this hard, it's going to be a little anticlimactic. And there's the Tapu Koko from our opponent. That's a good sign. They also attached Toughness Cape, so let's see if our opponent has an answer to this Decidueye or not. They're gonna switch into this Tapu Koko. I don't really know why they attached to this Voltorb. I feel like it probably would have been stronger to hold onto the attachment maybe and attach to the Koko V. But, you know, I'm not going to complain. So I'm going to evolve into this Dartrix here. And what is a little scary is that our opponent can potentially use Electrode's ability, which allows it to attach 2 energy from the deck onto this Tapu Koko. And in exchange of it being knocked out, and they can attach and then boss up this Dartrix and KO it. So we do definitely want to be a little bit cautious of that. So gonna come back in the Decidueye because we definitely want to keep that around. We're probably gonna research here, and yeah, yeah, what else do we want to grab? I guess, to be honest, I could have gotten out of this Decidueye this turn by Pokécomming in like this Basculin and like getting out Jirachi, Scoop Up Netting the Snorlax and going in with the Jirachi and hopefully finding a Rare Candy. Yeah, that probably would have been the better play, to be honest. I'm not too sure why I didn't do that now that I'm looking back on it. I think I'm fine just grabbing the Jirachi here, benching this. I don't really want to Scoop Up Net into this quite yet. I'm just going to go with the research here because I might just want to pull off another Gourmandize this turn. And no Decidueye, unfortunately. In order to play around that play that I was talking about, I do want to attach a Capture Energy here to this Rowlet. In case our opponent bosses his Dartrix, we can still potentially pull off another attack on the following turn. What should we grab anything? I feel like I'm fine grabbing another Rowlet here, just thin that out of the deck and just Gourmandize for 2. And hopefully we can see a Decidueye off of this. No, but we do find a Rosa, so if our opponent does boss up this Dartrix and KO it, we have the perfect response we need. Hopefully our opponent doesn't Marnie us, that would be super annoying. No, just a Spike Draw. Okay, that's really good news for us. And let's see what we top deck. A Grass Energy is not bad, but not great. Gonna Bird Keeper into this Jirachi, see what we draw. There's the Pokemon Communication. Alright, we have the Decidueye. I think I'm gonna go with the Rare Candy play. Rare Candy into this. I'm gonna Rare Candy here because it's easier to find a Decidueye for this, but it's harder to get a Rare Candy and a Decidueye in the same hand as opposed to just getting a single Decidueye into our hand. Hopefully that made sense. I'm gonna attach a Grass here. Going to go with that Stellar Wish, see what we hit. Probably just take another Bird Keeper for the following turn in case our opponent whiffs the KO on the Jirachi. I think I like doing that. And yeah, we can just pass over to our opponent, and we're getting pretty set up. Yeah, we're definitely matching our opponent's pace of the game so far, which I'm definitely pretty content with. Hopefully our opponent didn't see anything too good off of the Spike Draw. Our opponent should probably not pop off with the Electrode. They should likely just keep the Electrode as it is and attack with it. There's the Chaotic Swell. Yeah, like I said, our opponent's probably not playing anything else besides Chaotic Swell because Lightning doesn't have much of a support stadium in the format as Thunder Mountain has rotated out. So yeah, feeling that's fine with me. Them getting rid of the Dojo is perfectly fine here. And there's the Electrode. This Electrode can hit for 100 damage, which is actually a good bit of damage, so we definitely have to look out for that. There's a Juniper top deck. Probably just attach the Fighting Energy to this Dartrix, Bird Keeper into the... I forgot the Stellar Wish. Alright, that's definitely a misplay. Definitely learn from me. Make sure to Stellar Wish before you Bird Keeper. But I think we're still okay. So we're gonna go with this Decidueye. We're gonna use a Splitting Arrow. We're gonna hit the Crobat for 20. Probably hit the Electrode for 20 as well in case they're playing something like a Big Charm. We do want to be cautious of that, so I think it's okay hitting the Electrode here. Makes it a bit easier to one-hit KO and play around some pesky tool cards. Yeah, let's see how our opponent's going to respond. They attach to the active. There's the Cape to the Crobat. And just the Spike Draw again. Alright, I'm not complaining. I don't know why they committed to the Tapu Koko V if they don't have a way to attack with it, but I'm not complaining. So, just gonna drop the Aromatic Energy on the Rowlet. I see no reason to get rid of this really good hand we have going on, so I'm just gonna go with the Splitting Arrow, hit the same 2 for 20 damage. Start putting this into potentially a range we might be able to KO this with Splitting Arrow just with the 20 damage, and they opt to attach to the Boltund. I'm not too sure about this one. Oh, they're going with the Electrify. Okay, that makes sense. But I'm confused why our opponent switched when Tapu Koko V has free retreat. That seems like a misplay from our opponent if I've ever seen one. Our opponent's gonna start charging up this Electrode here, which is fine with us. Yeah, I'm not too sure why our opponent switched because they could have just retreated into the Boltund and saved the switch for the following turn into this Electrode. I definitely think that's a little bit of a misstep from our opponent, so I'm going to attach the Fighting to the Rowlet here. Pokemon Communication back in the Mewtwo, and hey, we have another Rare Candy to work with, and we have another Decidueye to work with. So we're looking really, really solid so far. I definitely cannot complain about our current scenario. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with the Splitting Arrow again. Let's see. We do have Boss's Orders in deck. Probably just hit this Electrode again in case our opponent doesn't have a way to move out of the active. We can start chipping away at that even more. Probably just gonna hit the Tapu Koko V again. Maybe KO this with Splitting Arrow with the 20 damage from the Splitting Arrow again. If they don't move this into the active. And yeah, I'm feeling super confident right now about where we are. There's another Bolton V from our opponent. That's not another one prizer, so I'll take it. Just the Electrify again. Alright, looks like our opponent's whiffing energy, and the fact that they're thinning energy out of the deck makes it even more unlikely that they'll be able to find a way to move into this Electrode on the following turn. So definitely do feel pretty good about that. No reason to get rid of all of those energies. Just gonna hit the same two Pokemon again and go from there. Both of these Pokemon are getting very close to being able to get knocked out. Let's see if our opponent has a way to move into this Electrode and hit our Decidueye or not. And there's the concession from our opponent. They didn't have anything going for them. That's gonna do it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really hope I showed off the power of the Decidueye. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, please remember to subscribe. And as always, remember to stay safe, have a good day, and peace out.